Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, BC. Wanted to make a special video for you in regards to your mind and how we've been conditioned a certain way and how it'll give you a better perspective on what's happening today and what happens in your life when you are living your life and certain thought processes come to your mind, or you're viewing things differently than somebody else, or you're witnessing somebody else have a certain reaction to something and maybe you don't quite understand it, okay? You need to understand that the human mind can be programmed and is being programmed all the time. From childhood, you're conditioned. We're not born innately with some of these societal beliefs that have been instilled in us and conditioned in us. And I want you to remember this because I'm going to be referencing it later, okay? So I will make the argument that innately human beings, I don't care who you are or where you're from, are naturally good, kind-hearted people. A lot of the evil, a lot of the perversions in our thought process and our actions is conditioned into us, okay? Let me give you an example. I'm sure many of you have seen the video of that adult showing his children pictures on TV, okay, of different kids, of different ages, races, and he's showing them and he's asking the kid a question, young kid, right, his son, what do you see, what do you see, what do you see? Now, the whole point of it is that was a reference in regards to like racism, which is something that is still talked about a lot in the media. Long story short, the kid never mentioned anything about race. He didn't say that's a brown kid or an Asian kid or a Hispanic kid or black kid or white kid. He never said that, okay? So when you watch that, as much of an innocent video as that is, it gives you insight into some of these things and how when we start bringing these things up, they're literally conditioned into us. You're not born a racist or this or that. It has been conditioned into you. Now, where do we point the finger to that? That could be our upbringing, that could be our family, that could be the media and the media outlets that we listen to. Of course, no plane comes by except for when I want to shoot a video outside, right? Anyways, I digress. In essence, I've always said this argument is good versus evil or ignorance. Ignorance not in me insulting somebody, but ignorance and somebody just doesn't know. So if you're sixth generation being brought up, being told that this race or this religion or this group of people are bad, of course that's going to be your reality. And when that is your reality and you're conditioned that way, you will act accordingly to that reality. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get in this video into detail. I may do it on another one on having proper intellectual conversations with people, being able to connect with them and debunk some of these things, right? I'll save that for another one. But this is what you got to understand. This will give you a more elevated position when you witness this, and it'll keep you out of your emotions. Because one of the other tools that's being used against humanity right now is they're getting you in a heightened emotional state. At that point, your conscious mind is shut off. You're in primitive mode, primal mode, and now you just respond like this and like that. Anybody who's deemed as an authority, which again can be government officials, the media, whatever they say, you just eat it up. And when I say you, I don't necessarily mean you watching, I'm just speaking in general, because I'm not attacking anybody when I'm saying this video. I want you to get what I'm saying, all right? When you're in that heightened emotional state, you become irrational. Your conscious mind is shut off, right? These people and all these institutions that have been engaging in psychological warfare against humanity for a long time, they know this. They are masters of the mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. And this is why I've been studying this shit for so long and helping people wake up to these facts. Okay? So a lot of these things are taught. This is how you're conditioned. If you're brought up with that thought process of money, I wasn't taught shit about money specifically by a rich uncle or somebody else. So when we look at the world of money as an example, if I'm going to give you a different one, most of us don't come from money. We didn't have the even instruction of having somebody with money who was wealthy and who was educated on the subject, giving us their point of view and their teachings, and then also maybe somebody on the other side who didn't have money. We didn't get both of those, okay? Now, I wasn't dirt poor when I broke up, but a lot of my family is, and their mental conditioning is you can barely scrape by, get a job, be happy with a little bit, don't go for more, and then we're taught that, and only that, that's our limited perspective, and that becomes our reality. Okay? So we have to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. So as you're living your life, you're witnessing things in the media, you're experiencing things like when you're walking around, if you see a certain person like me, where I'm big and I'm tattooed, what's going on in your mind? Are you thinking I'm a threat? Are you thinking I'm uneducated? Are you thinking I'm a thug? Are you thinking I went to prison? Now, I'm not mad at you if you think that. Why? Because that's been societal beliefs pushed on people that they never questioned. Or maybe you never had a discussion with somebody like me who's tall and tattooed, right? Or that I wear earrings and this and that. Or, whoa, he's got the Egyptian shirt on. He must be a part of the Illuminati, right? How many misconceptions do we have? How many conclusions are we jumping to right away without having proper perspective? So we're in the age of information right now. So it would behoove you and be in your best interest to educate yourself, as I have done over the last couple of years, and it has completely changed my life. And I've realized how much bullshit I was taught. Absolute garbage. And in many cases, it wasn't spiteful. It was just that person's limited perspective and what they knew, giving me those teachings with their own assumption and limited reality that that was how the world is. Right? How many people see me now with hair or having my little chakra background on my main YouTube channel and they think suddenly I'm a fucking yogi? What the hell does that have to do with yoga? So now, because I'm starting to be a little bit more intellectual and I've raised my consciousness a little bit, I'm supposed to be this guru and dress like a yogi? That sounds ignorant as fuck. See, but again, that's people's perceptions. So instead of walking around like we know everything, we need to have more conversations like this, and we need to have an understanding of how the mind works. This is how you can start rewiring it. This is how you can take things into your own hands, your own decision-making process and judgment processes, and see how they've been hijacked and manipulated over the years, and say, okay, I need to decondition, then recondition these things. That way I can start living better, living more grounded, living a more logical and critical thinking life versus just being emotional and being reactive. Cause and effect, one of the universal laws. We live too much in effect as human beings instead of living at cause point and creating. Living from that point gives you more control and you create your reality versus having your reality hijacked by somebody else and them creating it for you, which is how most people are living now, which is why you still have people walking around saying that person with tattoos is bad, that Asian person's bad, that black person's bad, that person has money, he's a piece of shit. And you may not even say it, and you may listen to this and laugh, but I guarantee you, just like me, there's still a residue of that left in you that you have to get rid of and recondition to at least be a blank slate and not be this automatic robot programmed software in our mind that just We are far too advanced now. Our minds are far too powerful for us to be subjugated to that. And if you're watching me, which I guarantee you are 18 and over, then it's your responsibility, not someone else's. We can't play the victim and point the finger. We need to get it together and say, okay, I am where I'm at, and I need to do something about this. And when you do that, you will have much more control of your life. You will feel better, more fulfilled, and you're going to help not only you, but the closest people around you. And when we want a society, a worldwide change, this is how it starts. By doing these things at the individual level. If we all become more powerful, we think better, we're more peaceful, we start having conversations over violence, now we're going to create change. But this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We have to outthink the opponent. We have to outsmart them. This is strategy. Use your mind. All of you are more than capable. I've been an athlete my whole life and labeled as a meathead. Okay? You think that stopped me? No, I've been put into a lot of boxes by other people. I'm sure you have as well. Doesn't matter. They put you in those boxes, and then you allowed them to put you in the box. That's the key. That's the key. Now, how they put you in their mind doesn't matter. You need to be able to break free from that, okay? So, with that said, hopefully this helped you. I will continue videos like this, but this is all I wanted to share on this particular video. Much of what you think is reality much of what you think is reality is merely conditioning, okay? That's it for this one, guys. Check all the links in the description to follow me on my social media. Peace.